Guys, so we're going to talk about protein first. Protein is probably one of the most important fundamental things we use in any kind of fitness sort of training, especially strength training, but it does have its place with endurance training as well, and definitely strength and conditioning. So to not overcomplicate things, there are two main kinds of protein. So you've got whey protein and you've got Casine protein. I'm going to talk about two individually. There's loads of different kinds of protein, but just to keep things simplistic, I'm just going to talk about the whey and the Casine today. Obviously at Perfect Body Zone, I don't know if you can see here, but we've got loads and loads of different kinds of protein. As you can see, 3-4 shelves full. When you're looking for a whey protein, you want to look for one that's obviously high protein content per gram. And obviously what we're trying to do is get this into our body during the day or after we train. Protein itself is fantastic for building muscle, and it's also really good for repair. So what I want you to imagine is if we're training and we're doing something like a bicep curl, I want you to imagine that you've got muscle fibers in your arms, right? Now when the muscle fibers are working, they're breaking down slowly but surely. And the way we want to utilize protein is after we train, it basically rebuilds the muscle, okay? And it makes it come back stronger. Not as quick as we would like. I'm not saying you're gonna do bicep curls one day and then next day you're gonna have 20-inch arms. It does take a little bit of time, but that's the premise. That's the approach you're trying to look at. So whey protein is very fast acting. So you want to take it after you train. You can take it during the day, preferably with water. Because it gets into the system a little bit quicker than milk, which is a little bit more slow digesting. So just want to show sort of the vast amount of products that Perfect Body Zone have. As you can see, there are a lot of proteins here, different flavors ranging from sort of white chocolate flavor, strawberry flavor. We've even got M&M's, Twix and Bounty proteins here. So what I want to talk about is ISO Whey. This one here by Biotech USA. It's probably the best selling one that Perfect Body Zone has. Great tasting, but what I want to show people, if I can get the camera here, when you're looking at proteins, the figure that we're looking for is how much protein there is per gram in 100 grams. So as you can see here, 84 grams per 100, it means it's very close to being almost 100% protein, which is fantastic. It's the closer we are to 100, the better. So if I was to take the M&M protein, for example, I don't know if you can see here, but protein per 100 is only 60 grams. Now only 60 grams isn't too bad, but you're going to be getting a lot more whey protein in this one than you are in this one. So to sacrifice the taste, I would probably always go for something that's higher per 100 grams with your protein, which is why this is probably one of the best ones. So like I said, it's the ISO Whey. It's lactose free, sugar free, gluten free and palm oil free. Probably one of the healthiest ones you can take. And this is the one I would probably suggest taking if people were sort of interested in going down that route. It absorbs very fast. So if you mix it with water, it's going to be in your system between half an hour and 45 minutes. It's very good. I wouldn't have it as a meal replacement, but it's good for a snack. So like a good snack would be, or something for a pre-workout would be sort of a whey shake with a banana, just to get some soluble food in you. And that would be great for that. So yeah, right, that's that one. So the other protein that I wanted to talk about, obviously at the beginning of the video, we were talking about sort of wheys and Casine. Again, I'm going to go with Biotech USA because it's a fantastic protein. And I'm going to talk about Casine now. So Casine Protein, I don't know if many people know about Casine, but it's actually a very good protein to take sort of post-workout and also before you go to bed. So the difference between Casine protein and whey protein is the absorption time. So whey protein typically gets in the system very quickly, which is why it's fantastic for before training and a quick shot after you train. But Casine can actually be mixed with whey protein as well to get some slow digesting proteins in there as well. So because whey goes in and out of the body quite quickly, Casine will stay in the system a little bit longer. It's also very good to take, like I said, before bed because it's slow digesting. Normally takes about four hours to digest, which is a lot longer than whey. So as you're sleeping, It's perfect for sort of slow absorption, so your muscles are being constantly fed whilst you're sleeping. So that's a really good benefit of Casine. Right guys, let's talk about whey protein to start. Obviously I've spoken about there's two different kinds of protein. There's whey protein and Casine protein. So I want to talk about whey protein first, and again just to sort of talk about what protein does. It's very good for obviously muscle building, and it's fantastic for sort of rebuilding muscle tissues as well. It's also good for weight loss, funnily enough. Talking on the back of that, protein in general is a slower digesting enzyme. So what it does is when you eat protein, whether that be from a whey source or a meat source or however you're getting your protein, it actually slows down digestion. So it makes you feel fuller for longer. So that's another benefit. And obviously if you're on a calorific deficit and you're not eating as much, or you're sticking to your macros, eventually, you know, you're going to be, if you're training high intensity as well, you're going to lose weight as well. So it's another benefit of protein. Talking about the muscle building side of things, which I'm sure a lot of guys want to know about. Protein is essential because like I said, when we're training, we're breaking down our muscle fibers. After we train, we want to rebuild them as strong as possible so we come back bigger and stronger. Protein aids in this, it speeds up the process a lot faster. So if you're not taking some form of protein, you're probably at a more disadvantage than someone who is, because they're going to be able to build muscle quicker than someone who isn't taking on a protein source. Not crazy amounts, they're not going to be leaps and bounds ahead of you, but they are probably going to be getting more out of their training by taking a protein supplement. So what I want to talk about now is ISO Whey Zero by Biotech USA. So out of all the proteins that we've got here in the store, this is probably the one I would go with. It's a very good protein, very high in protein. Anything that's ISO has generally got a higher rate of protein in it. It also digests or mixes very well, I should say, not digest. It mixes very well with water, and it can be blended, so it's not thick, it's very fine. And the finer the protein, the quicker it gets into the system, which is perfect. So taking it after training is what I would probably suggest. You know, there's certain windows we could say you could take after training, but as long as you're taking it immediately after training or within half an hour, I wouldn't worry too much. But like I said, it's going to aid muscle building, and it's also very good for recovery, so that when those fibers are broken down, they come back a lot stronger in the end. So yeah, this is the one I would probably go for, Biotech USA. And like I said, probably the best protein, one of the best proteins we can buy on the market.